To start the recording. Hopefully I won't mess this one up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And we will get started. If anybody else comes in, that's great. So in this session, we are going to look at specifically ways that we can capture student learning using Canva. But first, if you wouldn't mind, put in the chat how familiar you are with Canva. If you told me in the last session, then you can put it again. It'll be okay. And then I can see how familiar we are. 1 is you're a new user, all the way up to 4 is you use it regularly with your student. All right. So we have some very familiar people in this group. That's awesome. One of the things that I love most about Canva is that they are constantly updating and adding new features. So there's always something new to learn. If you hear me say the same thing and you were in the last session, then I apologize for repeating myself, but this really is one of my favorite things about Canva is that there's always something new, and there are new features that were added this week that I haven't even had a chance to play with yet. So my name is Misty Lewis. I am a Canva learning consultant. I was a high school science teacher for 20 years, and I have been using Canva since 2020. I use it in my classroom with my students almost daily for the last couple of years. And I'm coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I didn't say that in the last session. I forgot to tell you where I was, but so today we're going to look at what is Canva education, and we're going to look at the student learner journey in Canva. Then we're going to do a little hands-on. At any point, if you have questions, please unmute and ask or put them in the chat. You don't have to wait until it's over to ask questions. And then hopefully we'll have time to share some other resources. But first, Canva Education is an all-in-one visual communication platform. This is our visual suite. So when you open Canva's homepage, you will notice that there are icons across the middle. These are all of the different design types that you can create within Canva. So you can create websites, you can create things that you can print, you can create videos. The photo editing feature is a newer feature. You can create social media posts, presentations, whiteboards, docs, and Canva sheets. You can create anything that you want within one design type. So we have our all-in-one design feature now. And I will show you that in Canva. Canva Education was launched in 2019. There are over 100 million students using Canva monthly, 1.5 billion designs created by our educator community. It's used in 190 countries, 700,000 schools, and 15,000 school districts, and it is 100% free for K-12 schools and systems. And Canva education is free because we believe education is a human right. The skills that your students will learn transcend the K-12 landscape, so they will be able to use this throughout their education career and on into their lifelong learning and even their daily activities. Canva education empowers everyone to create, collaborate, and communicate in the classroom and beyond. Again, if you have any questions while I'm talking, please let me know. You can stop me, put it in the chat, or unmute. I will be going back and forth between my presentation and actually showing you things in Canva in real time. So if for some reason I forget to share the right screen with you, please just yell at me and let me know. There are tons of ways that we can use Canva to show what our students know, to support them within their learning process, and to allow them the freedom to be able to choose how they want to show you that they have learned what you want them to learn. I love all of the student choice that students have using Canva. Some of the things that you can use Canva for with your students is supporting executive functioning. So you can do things like goal setting. You can create habit trackers. You can create student planners or even allow students to create vision boards. There are templates for pretty much anything that you can imagine, and your students have access to those templates as well. You can always create something from scratch and share it with your students, or you can allow your students to create from scratch so that they are responsible for creating all of the parts of the design. But templates will help you to save time and give everyone a starting place. I'm going to show you how to find some of these templates. So I'm going to go to my Canva homepage. And I like to start in the Canva homepage so that you can see how I got to where I went. Over on the left-hand side, again, make sure that you are in the correct account. So in the bottom left-hand corner, this is your account, and you can make sure that you are signed in with the correct email address and you're in the correct team. To create any new design, you can start with the big purple plus sign and create anything from scratch. You can also click on any of the icons that are across the center. You can create custom sizes. So if you wanted to just do an 8.5 by 11-inch design, that's like a worksheet size, then you can start with a custom size. You can upload resources that you already have. And if you click on more, then it's going to open up this menu for you. And from here, again, you can choose any of those design options to begin with. I'm going to go over on the left-hand side to templates, and I'm going to click on that one. And then from here, I'm going to type in goal setting. And you'll notice that there are 10,000 templates. 10,000 is the biggest number it's going to show you. I could scroll for a very long time and not get to the bottom of all of these templates. And these are all related to the keyword that you typed in. If you only wanted worksheets or only wanted presentations, then you can filter your search results by clicking on filters. And I'm going to click on worksheet and then click on apply. And from here, now I have almost 2,000 worksheet templates for goal setting. If I want to use any of these templates, all I have to do is click on the one I want to use. Sometimes it's going to pop up and give you the option to print and have Canva print it professionally and ship it to you. We're not going to do this right now. We just want to customize this template. So when I click on that purple button that says customize this template, it's going to open that design in a new tab. And from here, I can edit any of the features on the design. I can edit the text, the colors, any of that that I want to change. And this is where I can also share it with my students, or I can download it and print it if I want to do it that way. If I want to assign this to students so that each one gets their own copy, I will go to share in the top right, and I would click on assign. Now from here, you can share it with a link, but I'm going to click on the option to share it through Canva and click continue. And then I would start typing in my class name. Your classes are already synced, so once you start typing in that class name, it should auto-populate, and you would assign, it would have the option to assign that to your students. You can even add in a message if you want to, maybe some extra instructions, and click on assign. This that says notify students. So on the students homepage, so if I go back to home, then their little notification bell, it would pop up that they had a notification that they needed to open up, and they could go to their assignment from there. They also have a tab for their classwork that they can click on, and their assignments will be found in there as well. You can also share directly through your LMS. So if you use Google Classroom, that's an option. If you don't see your option to begin with, you can click on See All, and it will open up the bigger menu for you. You can assign, this is Google Classroom, Remind. You can send, you can download this. So if you didn't want to give the students the actual template for them to be able to type on, and you just wanted to print this out for students to use, then you would click on share and then click on download. Then you can choose your file type. So for this one, you would probably do a PDF. And then just click on download, and that would download it to your computer, and you would open it up and print it from there. Okay. I'm going to hop back in to the presentation so that I can show you some other things that you can create. Excuse me. There are a ton of templates for student planners. This is a really good way to give students ownership and control over how they are keeping up with their assignments, how they're keeping up with their schedule. They can have the option to create their own planner, and then that way they feel a little more connected to it, especially if they get to add in their own flair. They may be a little more willing to use it if they have more input. There are also teacher planners, so keep that in mind as well. Habit trackers, or I know in most people's homes, we just call it like chore charts. So if you have classroom jobs that you want to create a tracker for, you can do that sort of thing as well. And all of these, again, you would just go to templates from Canva's homepage and search for each of these. Vision boards, this is a really good way to let kids lay out all of their goals and be able to personalize it and make it their own, and um, help you to see what their goals are as well. We can also use Canva to activate our students' prior knowledge. They can create KWL charts. You could do this as a classroom collaboration so that all the students are working on it at the same time. And I will show you how to do that in just a second. So we have KWL charts. One of my favorite features in Canva is Canva whiteboards, and one of the best things to use it for is brainstorming and allowing all of that collaboration to happen. Mind mapping is another way to see what your kids already know. You can create mind maps in whiteboards or any of the other Canva designs, like a presentation. And I will show you some features that will be helpful for mind maps. And then visual analysis. So there are tons of images that are already available in Canva. So you could show an image and get kids to type out what they're feeling or what they think about it, and really see what that prior knowledge is and what misconceptions they have. All right, I'm going to go back to my Canva homepage. And from here, I'm going to open up a Canva whiteboard. It's going to open that up in a new tab for me. And whenever you open a new design, the design tab over on the left is going to open up, and it's going to suggest some templates for you to use. Usually these are going to be based on something that you searched recently, but you can search for whatever it is that you want to look up. So I can just do KWL and have a ton of KWL charts that are already created for me that I could use. To use one of these, all I have to do is click on it, and it's going to pop it over into my design. In a Canva whiteboard, it is limitless, so you can scroll down and keep scrolling forever if you want to. So you could use one Canva whiteboard and put everything on there for an entire year if you wanted to. If you scroll around and you lose where your design was, then you can always go down to the bottom where it has the actual number percentage for the zoom and click on it, and then click the word fit, and that will bring you back to the center. A lot of the templates will have Canva tips So these are some shortcuts that you can use in Canva whiteboards, but you can always just delete those. So this KWL chart you could use, it says for reflection writing. If you wanted all of your students to have access and to be able to collaborate on the same whiteboard, then you would go to share and you would give people access. So I would start typing in my class to give that class access, and then I could click share. Make sure that you want them to be able to edit. If you're wanting them to be able to actually add information to the whiteboard and collaborate together, and you would share access to them that way. Now, sorry. If I wanted to share access with you, I don't have all of your email addresses and that sort of thing, but I can still give you access to be able to collaborate. And the way that I do that is click on share, and I'm going to click on my access level here so that it says anyone with the link can access this design, and I'm going to make sure it says can edit. And then I'm going to click on copy link. Now I could do this two different ways. I can put this link in the chat. So I put it in the chat. If you click on that link, then it will take you to this design so that you can collaborate on it with me and with the group. Or if I didn't have a way to send you that link quickly, I could also go over to my apps on the left-hand side and search for QR code. The first app that pops up is the Canva app for creating QR codes. I know it's the Canva app because if I click on the three dots, it says created by Canva. And all I have to do is paste that link in the URL box and click generate code. And when I do, it's going to put that QR code in my design for me. So if you would like to, you have two ways to be able to collaborate on this chart with me right now. You can either click on the link that's in the chat, or you can scan the QR code. As you do, you'll see people pop up across the top. So if you're using this with students and they're logged into their school account, then everything that they do will have their name attached to it. That way you know who is doing what, and you can make sure you give them enough upfront warning that you know if they put anything inappropriate, you know who did it. So hopefully you can avoid some of that. Yeah, so you can do whatever you want to. All of these that are the little squares are sticky notes. If you wanted to add new sticky notes, you can go over to elements on the left-hand side and you can add a new sticky note. You can change the color. You can click within it and change the text on that sticky note. And then you can move it around and put it wherever you want to. So you could use this with your kids to get them brainstorming. You can use whiteboards to help them collaborate and collectively research information, put it all together, and then create an even bigger presentation or project from their planning whiteboard. All right, I'm going to pause for 1 minute and give you a little bit of time to look at this and play for a second. If you have questions, this would be a good time to let me know. You can unmute or you can put them in the chat.
I have a question. Now, we can download this to the TV or whiteboards that we have in the class and use it from that.
So like projecting it or like a smart board?
Like a smart board.
You should, we had the, I can't remember what the boards were, but it was like you could go to Canva on the actual screen and you could move stuff around on your board.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you can do it that way. Which is really good if you have like younger kids, they could come in and move stuff around and they don't have to log in separately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did that answer the question?
We'll see. I'm going to try it.
Okay. Anybody else? They continue adding new features, and sometimes I get sad that I'm not in the classroom and can't use it with my students anymore. But the good thing is I get to show you how to do it, and that way you get to share it with your students. So it's still good. If you are working in a whiteboard and you want to stop kids from being able to change anything, you can always go back to share and you can change that access level back to can just view, and then that way they wouldn't be able to change anything else. Let me show you mind maps real quick before we move out of that whiteboard. Okay. So if I wanted to create a mind map, again, I could just go to design and type in mind map and start with a template. Or if I wanted to just create one from scratch, I could do it that way. And I'm going to go over to elements. And then for this mind map, I'm going to just use shapes. So I'm going to start with a square. Or I guess it's not a square anymore. I changed it. There we go. Now it's a square. You can type within that square. You can change the color. You can put a border around it. These arrows will place a new shape beside it. So I'm going to click on that arrow. And when it does, this is our quick flow. It connects those two shapes with a line. I can change the thickness of this line so you can see it better. I can change the endpoints if I don't want it to be arrows, if I just want it to make connections. And then if I move this around, my line changes with it. You can also double click on the line itself and you can put whatever you want in the little box, and it keeps that text on the line as well. So now when I move it around, it's going to keep that text there. So instead of trying to draw out a mind map on paper, kids can start creating one, and if they mess up and need to add extra room, then they don't have to worry about trying to erase and add new shapes on there. They can just move their stuff around, and they don't have to start over with moving lines and words and everything because everything moves with it. So I really like that feature. Okay. Other ways to capture student learning, you can use digital notebooks, flashcards, graphic organizers, and strategies like 3-2-1 strategy. Again, you can find templates already created for you, or you can allow students to create their own. There are a ton of flashcards that are already available for you to use. You can just open those templates and download them and print them if you want to. You can change the information on it, or you can start from scratch and create your own. Same thing with graphic organizers and the 3-2-1 method. Again, all you have to do is search for those things in the templates and you will find what you are looking for. Different ways that students can demonstrate their learning. They can create their own designs. They can do interactive projects. They can use media from the web, so they can even embed links into their presentations or their whiteboards. And of course, they can create their own presentations. Some different fun activities that they can do besides creating things like resumes for themselves, they can also create resumes for fictional characters or even historical characters. So they could use something like a resume template that is meant for real life and just adapt it so that they can come up with the information for other types of characters. They can create infographics. You can create infographics. They can start from scratch. Again, there are templates already there for you. If you notice that a student turns in a very well done infographic and looks like maybe it wasn't their work, then I would always go back to the templates on Canva's homepage and search for those infographics and make sure they didn't try to pull one over on you and just turn in one that was already created, because some of the infographics already have information on there. So just keep that in mind when you are assigning those to your students. Students can create magazines, so you can have a class magazine if you want to, or you can do like a weekly newsletter or that sort of thing, and really give the ownership over to the students. Students can even create podcasts, they can create videos, and I will show you how they can record themselves. This is an example of an explainer video, so the students can tell what they learned. They can show what they learned. If they've done an activity, they can use actual video or pictures from what they've done hands-on.
Brown Bear's wonderful.
I like this activity idea to create a book trailer. So students can use this instead of doing a book report. They can create their own book trailer for a book that they've read, or they can even start here and create brand new stories. You can also use Canva to create timelines. So this one was created on a Canva whiteboard. Again, in a Canva whiteboard, it's unlimited, so your timeline could really include as much information as you wanted to put on there. And students can create their own portfolios. They can use different design types. So if they want to just do it as a presentation and include a new activity on each slide, they could do it that way. And anything you do in a Canva design automatically saves. So, and it's right there on your homepage, either in your projects or in your recent designs. So hopefully your students won't lose their activities that they work so hard on. There are also game templates, so students can create their own games to show what they've learned about whatever the concept is that you are on in class. Or you can create games for your students to use as well. So I'm going to go back to my homepage. I'm going to go to a presentation. I'm just going to open up a new presentation. Again, when I do, it's going to open that design tab and give me some suggestions, but I don't want the suggestions right now. And from here, if I wanted to let my students start from scratch, they would be able to do that. If I wanted them to include videos of themselves, they can go over on the left-hand side to uploads. And under uploads, not the big purple button this time, but underneath it says record yourself. So I'm going to click on record yourself. Now, there is record a talking head. So this will have the little person in the corner of the video. You can do a voiceover, generate an AI voice. And this one is brand new. Like, I haven't even had a chance to play with this one yet. The screen recorder for desktop. So there's a new feature that you will know about before most everyone else does. I'm going to click on record a talking head. When I do, it's going to open up my recording studio, and I can change the camera. I can change the microphone. If I wanted to record, I would just click on record. It would give me a 3-second countdown, and you can record up to 25 minutes per page of your design. I'm not going to try to record because I'm on camera, so it would mess it up, but I will show you one that I have recorded. If I'm satisfied, all I have to do is click on save and exit, and it will save anything that I recorded in that recording studio will get saved in my uploads. So under my uploads, any of those videos, those screen recordings that I do would show up here. And let's see, I hate hearing myself talk. So
Hey,
there's a video. This would be like one that you would have as a result from that recording studio. So you could get kids to record them telling you about, just say, a place or a person, and then they could use it in their presentation and get really creative with things. One of the things that they can do is take away the background of their video. So I'm going to click on BG remover, that's background remover. And let's pretend that I'm telling you all about, let's see, the pyramids. So I'm going to go over to elements, and I'm going to type in pyramids. And then I'm going to find a photo. I'm going to click on see all, and I'll use this one. Now, right now it's on top of my video. You can go to position and send this backwards. And then I can make this the background of my video. And I can pretend that I'm standing right here telling you all about the pyramids. So this is a good way to get kids really expressing their creativity and allowing them to be able to tell you about something and not always having to write book reports or essays or that sort of thing, but really be able to get into character and get excited about some of these things. Okay, I want to pause for just a minute and see if anybody has any questions. And grab a sip of water. All right, so other ways that students can use Canva, they can use it for reflection, either social emotional learning or reflection on what they've actually learned in class. Again, they can use the whiteboards or they can use a presentation. They can work together on some of these projects if you want them to be able to collaborate. They can reflect on their own learning. This one is daily reflections. If you were using a Canva whiteboard, you could put as many daily reflections on there as you want. If you were using a presentation, you could do a new slide for each day or each week. And students could keep adding to the same design over time. So pretty much I've shown you a very, very limited number of things that you can do in Canva to capture that student learning. But before we run out of time, I want to show you some of the newer AI features. So I'm going to start on Canva homepage, and I'm going to go over on the left-hand side to Canva AI. And I'm going to click on Create Student Activities. Again, this is one of the newer features. There are some examples already created for you. So you could click on any of these down at the bottom. This one says animal adaptation. So I'm going to click on that one, and it's going to put the prompt in the prompt box for me. So from here, I could go in and change any of that information. This one is designed for 5th grade biology and analyze. You can change any of these for grade level, subject, and what you want the students to achieve. If you're ready for Canva to create it for you, you can click on the submit button, give it a minute or so, and it's going to come up with 3 different activities that you can use. If you want to use all of them, you can select all of them and click on generate, or you can just click on one. I'm going to click generate. When I do, it's going to create that activity for me. Hopefully it won't take too long. Usually it's pretty quick. whenever you create one of these activities, they will show up in your designs. It's taking longer than I want it to. Come on. You can use that Canva AI, though, to create other things than student activities. You can create images. You can draft a doc. Think about like an entire lesson plan. You can type in here whatever it is that you are wanting your students to learn, and it would create that for you. So let me go back. My activity is ready. Now I can click on it. It opened up my activities. So I have a whiteboard, and the activity is comparing and contrasting desert animals with rainforest animals. Again, from here, I could give access to my students to be able to collaborate together. And that is just one way that Canva AI can help you create those student activities so that you can see what they've learned. One of the other ones is Code for Me. So under Code for Me, you can get Canva to create whatever you can come up with. An interactive timeline is one of the things that I like to get it to create. I've already created one, so instead of having to wait for Canva code to work for me, I'm going to just click on the one that I've created before. When you use Canva code, it's going to actually type out the code for you. You don't have to know anything about how to code. What it ends up with is your design. So for this one, I did an interactive timeline for the discovery of DNA. And each one of these ends up being an interactive like flashcard. So students could click on each of these to learn more information. If I wanted to use this in a design, I would just click on Use in a Design. And then I could share it to my students with one of those public view links. Sorry, I could share it to my students with a public view link, and they would be able to interact with it online. Okay, we are almost out of time. Let me share a public view link for this presentation in the chat in case you would like to be able to look at it again or see some of those examples again. Then you have access to that. And there is an activity at the end of this presentation where it challenges you to come up with a new learning activity for your students. And then at the very end, there are some helpful resources for you, especially Canva's Design School that has a ton of cheat sheets and tutorials and even courses that you can take and get certifications that you have completed them. And don't forget to join the teachers community on Facebook. There are a ton of helpful people in there who like to answer questions, and a lot of people share things that they've created. So it's a really good resource to have. So I want to give you the last minute or so. If you have any questions, please ask me, and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you for putting the attendance code in the chat. I appreciate that. hopefully you saw something today that you can use with your students, or that kind of clicked in your mind to get you thinking creatively outside the box of how to get your kids to use Canva to show what they've learned. Any questions before we go? Thank you for hanging out with me. Yes, and those the AI features are turned off for students. The district gets to decide how much access to AI the students have, but they should be turned on for teachers to be able to use. So all right.
Thank you, Miss D.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed it. All right, thank you. Have a great day.